Hello, this is Gary Franke at Achieve Alpha Insurance giving you a quick overview of the 2020 open enrollment for individual health insurance in Washington State from November 1st to December 15th. If you have any questions or comments, you can call us at 425-802-2783, and now you can text message our business line as well. This is just a quick overview, so if you have any questions, make sure to check out the carrier's website or you can give us a call. For any of the links you're looking at, you can find them on our website down below any of the blue links at achieve-alpha.com. Click on the health insurance tab and you can go from there. For us, any commission we make on the health exchange is built into the price, so there's no additional cost for you to work with us. So if you're new to us or doing this on your own, make sure to click on Find a Broker if you create a new account. Put in my last name, Franke. Either myself or Tamara, we can work with you, anybody in our agency, but make sure to put in my last name, Franke, F-R-A-N-K-E, and then you can proceed from there. And then we're here throughout the year. If you have questions and comments and look up things, or if you really need to file claims, we can give you guidance. We are also additionally based in Pacific Insurance, so we're Achieve Alpha Insurance and based in Pacific. Here we also do 14 auto and homeowners insurance carriers. So if you have any questions or if you think you're paying too much for auto insurance, you probably are. Make sure to ask for Julia, and then outside open enrollment, Tamara and myself can help out as well. Technically, next year prices are going down, but we all get older and prices go up as we age slightly. So as you can see, for a 50-year-old on a silver plan, the prices are kind of coalescing around the same price. Kind of look at this a little bit. Feel free to pause this as you're going through. I kind of go through a little quickly, but this helps you to get a snapshot of who's more competitive than others for the most part. So we'll going through each of the carriers specifically, but if you're going direct to a carrier like LifeWise, the silver plan can be up to 20% cheaper, but you only get tax credits if you go through the health plan finder. You can't get them by going direct. So that's kind of a quick overview, and we'll go into those more specifically. For 2020, it depends on what your income is for what you pay for health insurance. So if you have a household of 3 and your modified adjusted gross income from all your taxable income sources for 2020 is below $85,000, you'll probably get some sort of tax credit. You need to make sure to project into the health exchange what your next year's income is, not your 2019 income. So, and then as your income changes through the year, you really do need to go in and change that up and down as you're making more and less money, if you do. We also sell accident insurance. LifeSecure has a really good policy. Essentially, my employee, Tamara, she has kids in sports, and they've used this plan. It works really effectively. This plan has a 21-year break-even point, and the benefit resets every year. So if you're going to use if you're more active lifestyle in sports or just want to cover your $7,100 deductible for $27 a month in this example, it works out very effectively for what it is. So this plan works. The critical illness covers cancer, stroke, and heart attack. If you have a family history of these illnesses, this can be effective policy for you. Just need to make sure you get these before. It doesn't cover prior health issues. So on the health exchange, when you're searching for a plan, you can use a smart plan finder, but we use it with a grain of salt. Make sure to just go direct to the carrier's website to look up those. We found some issues over the years. It may or may not be correct. I personally don't use it that much. Filter by, if you want to search for different carriers or a gold, silver, or bronze plan, just filter, just scroll up and down. They've made it a little harder to find these, but just scroll. In this example, we're using LifeWise, or Ambetter is Coordinated Care, the other name for them. So you can search for different doctors. Here's our example plan structure. Anything down below in the green or gray is covered before deductible, such as primary care, specialists, and a lot of prescription drugs. Just make sure to check. These are usually the 3 top plans for each of the carriers. There are often more. The deductible is what's covered first if there's a more major expense, and then you pay 20% co-insurance in this example until you hit the max out of pocket. Once you hit the max out of pocket in the insurance network, you're done paying for the year. If you go out of network, it's not covered. However, generally if you have an emergency visit, something that's true emergency, it's generally covered in network, but not all the time. So we're here to help you as much as we can. Kaiser Permanente, the one advantage of them is they generally have good price for the plan design structure, and stay in the Kaiser network and you'll be treated really well. Kaiser's expanded quite a bit into just additional facilities and hired a lot more doctors. So they're getting a larger network over time. The downside is they don't cover on-the-job injuries for self-employed people. So if you don't work for yourself, I wouldn't recommend buying this plan potentially. Ambetter has Swedish, Providence, and Evergreen as their main hospital structure. Their gold plan is significantly better for the year, and they also cover lab services up front. So it's a very effective plan. They also have a bronze health savings account, but it's not in Snohomish County, so just giving you a heads up there. If you're going to see a psychologist or use some dermatologists, Ambetter has a little bit more slim network from that perspective, but it is getting better. Premera is probably the gold standard for the best network. They're getting rid of their partner system network, so you can go to any of the hospital systems for the most part on the network. This is not the group plan PPO, it's the EPO network, which is the individual plan, so it's slightly different. Just double check from that side of things. But Premera covers psychologists significantly better, mental health doctors, and prescription drugs, and a lot larger independent network of doctors. So that is one aspect of Premera, that they're more expensive because they have better coverage. The one downside is Premera is not in Snohomish or Pierce counties, so mainly the King County area around here at least. Swedish and Providence is primarily what LifeWise has. LifeWise is owned by Premera, but it is a different network. It's generally somewhat similar to the Premera EPO, but just make sure to check the website. It has a larger network of independent doctors, so that can be a good option for you, but LifeWise does not cover brand name prescriptions until after the deductible, so that's just a heads up from that perspective. Molina Marketplace has a fairly good network, Swedish, Overlake, UW, and I believe they're getting EverClinic. From that perspective, they do have a little bit more narrow network for independent doctors along those lines and psychologists. So just a heads up from that perspective. But they do have very effective plans for the price. They are now in Snohomish County, so they're expanding into that area. So you may be able to see people there. They also have a bronze plan for 2020. They did not before, so that may be an option to look into. Regents is a direct plan, and it takes the UW network, so it's kind of a more narrow network, but it does have additional coverages in other states, as you can see down below. So Regents can be a good plan, but compared to some of the other ones with similar networks, it's a little more expensive for the year, but some plans are good for everybody. Bridgespan and Regents are part of the same company network under Cambia. Bridgespan is on the health exchange where you can get tax credits with the UW network. It's just a little bit more expensive. It may be a good plan depending on if your doctors take that network and plan from that. Pacific Source is a newer carrier to Washington State. They mainly take multi-care, but the doctor network is a little less known. So, if it works for you, it can. Just make sure to check the other carriers as well. Providence is new. They take the Providence network, and the doctor network's a little less unknown. They seem a little bit more expensive, but if it takes what you need, it will work out well. The health savings accounts, these are the top 3 that we've seen. There's more of them for this year than prior years. So you can generally contribute money tax deductible, and you can use the money tax free. So there is some advantages. You have to have an HSA plan in order to contribute HSA money. We can't actually answer any accounting questions because we just sell health insurance. So talk with your CPA. The cost share plans. We work with Ultra Cost Share, and these plans do not cover pre-existing conditions. It's not an insurance product, but it does have a very wide network, and you can purchase these any month of the year. Since they don't cover pre-existing conditions, we only recommend somebody that's more healthy to buy these plans. There are a couple additional limitations, but they do start at $100 a month. So, if you need to save money or you just want to have something, it's better than nothing. So these can be fairly effective plans. If you use any sort of tobacco product, even vaping, marijuana, or other drugs, don't buy this plan. It won't cover things well. But over time, we have had people that we've seen that these plans work out very effectively in the long run, and they're lower cost because they don't cover pre-existing conditions. Dental insurance, on the health exchange, children need to buy a plan. And that's really good benefits to the price. On the exchange, adults, they don't cover major dental service, so we generally recommend to go direct to the carriers if you can. We're going to go through Delta Dental first. Everybody knows Delta Dental, they have a very good network, but they do have a 12-month waiting period for major dental, and they make you buy the plan for a full year. So they are effective policies. I have a Delta Dental one myself. It works out fairly decently, but they're not awesome for the most part for any dental. Ameritas has a really good dental plan. It's a little bit more narrow network for the most part, but you can go to any dentist with a little bit reduced coverage. The one advantage is if your dentist takes Ameritas, do Ameritas. They're generally a little bit better priced than Delta Dental. They also cover up to $1,000 lifetime of orthodontic coverage. And they have a 6-month waiting period for major services rather than 12 months on the Delta Dental. So in conclusion, if you have any questions, make sure to click on the Find a Broker, add us as your agent. And then if you can give us a call at 425-802-2783 if you have any additional questions.